What's good, y'all? This your boy Blak G 92. Now, for this evening, I'm going to post this reaction video. First one of maybe 2 or 3 for tonight, if I'm able to. But I'm gonna give this reaction video some breather room, so then get enough viewership and shit. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do one on this video from Wrestle with Annie titled Best of NXT Developmental Greatness with the exclamation mark at the end. Damn, I can't talk. But anyway, let me look up who give this to react to. Shout out to Drake Renhard 9906. Shout out to you for giving me this video to react to. So like I said before, I'm gonna start back giving shout outs to random people that give me these videos to react to, and that's just how it's gonna roll. That's how the cookie crumbles. Let me see what this video is looking like in about 3, 2, 1. And Wrestle with Andy does some great mini documentaries on the world of wrestling. You can tell he's a genuine fan of the sport.
Over the past couple of years, NXT has had a real resurgence, going from the days of its 2.0 era, where things were not being so well received by many fans, to the current version of the show that now once again feels like a place where the future top talents of WWE can learn how to make it to the top.
Okay.
But who are the biggest prospects on the current NXT roster? Well, that's exactly what we're going to be looking at right now, starting with one of the best talents of them all, Roxanne Perez.
Roxanne Perez.
Yes,
I'm already liking her because she got a pretty face. Sorry to be shallow, but she got a pretty face. And yeah. And she got a nice looking body too. I'm continuing so he can list all the credentials, all the wins and such. But I have to mention that.
Her in-ring debut in 2018, Roxanne Perez has made quite a name for herself as one of the best, if not the best, young women's wrestlers out there.
Okay.
Hell, there's a reason Ring of Honor booked her to be their inaugural Women's World Champion in 2021.
Okay.
And upon joining WWE in 2022, she's continued to excel in every area of her craft, be that promos, wrestling, or simply veering between playing a babyface and a heel. Really, if you look at all of the NXT roster today, there's possibly no one more main roster ready right now. So it's surely only a matter of time until Roxy gets the call-up at this point and shows us all what she can do on either Raw or SmackDown. But until that happens, we'll be happy to watch her do her thing on Tuesday nights for a while longer, as it's been there that she's had one of the best women's title reigns in the brand's history.
I'm definitely tuning in.
Just look at all of the people Perez has defended against over the course of her second run with the gold, and how much she's helped to elevate the competition. Names like Sol Ruca, Via Hale, Lola Vice, Tatum Paxley, they've all been raised up by the Prodigy.
Okay.
But then raising her opponents up to the next level is something the Laredo native does every time she steps foot into the ring.
Hold on, what native? Let me rewind it. Sorry for pausing so much, but
with the gold, and how much she's helped to elevate the competition. Names like Sol Ruca, Via Hale, Lola Vice, Tatum Paxley, they've all been raised up by the Prodigy. But then raising her opponents up to the next level is something the Laredo native does every time she steps foot into the ring. And it's not just singles action where she's shined on NXT. Though aside from her 2 women's world title runs, she's also served as a women's tag team champion alongside her best frenemy, Cora Jade, for a while too.
Frenemy.
Will the beef between this pair be resolved before Roxanne's time in NXT comes to a close?
Okay.
We guess we'll just have to wait and see.
I guess so. That's impressive, though.
It wouldn't be the first time someone on the current day NXT roster lost a friend and then saw them move up to the main roster without them, as the same could be said about our next subject, Trick Williams.
Trick Williams. I've heard his name around somewhere.
If Roxanne Perez is the current ace of the NXT women's division, then there's no doubt that Trick Williams is the ace of the men's. And that's a pretty impressive achievement considering he's only been wrestling since 2021.
Well, damn, that's a very short time.
The kind of charisma he does, this kind of thing comes easily. And
I
that's
guess.
been apparent in how over he's been on NXT. Sure, it helped that he had a great storyline with Carmelo Hayes to push him to that next level, as the tale of Trick Willie starting out as Melo's sidekick and eventually overtaking him in the pecking order was a fun one to watch for fans. Hell, so successful was it, it even led to the South Carolinian winning the NXT World title in April of 2024.
Okay, South Carolina represent. All right, I see y'all. That's what's up.
His run so far has been about so much more than just that world title win. No, it's been about a man who, in record time, has shown himself to be a real prospect for the future of WWE, and one who, if the stars should align properly, could even end up being the face of the entire company one day. Before he gets to that point, though, we expect him to remain in developmental for a while longer. As it's there, Trick will continue to progress his skills. After all, it's not like he doesn't have a lot of talented people training him and working with him in the ring on a weekly basis. Seriously, while he might not be on the main roster quite yet, at the rate he's going now, he could be there by this time next year. And when his call-up happens, that will be the capper to a great NXT run, one which played a huge part in making the brand great once more. And who knows, before all is said and done, he might even get another run with the world title in NXT. If he's to do this, though, he's going to have to beat our next subject, the current NXT World Champion, Ethan Page.
Shit. Okay.
Yes.
That'll be a match to see, though. Indeed. If I tune in somehow, it's for our channel and these matches come on.
Yes, it's been quite a journey for Ethan Page over the years, as after making a name for himself first in Impact during the mid to late 2010s, he'd struggle to break out into a bigger promotion where his talent could be watched by a larger audience. Sure, he did have a run in AEW between 2021 and 2024, but there he was always limited to more of a mid-card role and was never someone who felt like they were in any real contention for stardom or title success. Fortunately for the former two-time TNA Tag Team Champion then, things would turn around when, in May of 2024, he'd sign on the dotted line with WWE and from there be sent to the NXT brand. Why was moving from AEW to NXT a best move for him in the long run? Well, because in the latter, he's had the space to rise up the ladder and in very short order, become a world champion. Yes, few could have foreseen this one even a few months prior to it happening, as before joining the WWE, Ethan Page's role in the wrestling industry appeared to be well and truly settled upon. But thankfully, things have worked out great for him in NXT, and with it not looking like the Ontario native is going to be going anywhere anytime soon, we can expect to see him continue to rack up impressive performances against the likes of Trick Williams, Sean Spears, and Joe Hendry as the weeks and months go on,
and
all en route to that eventual
turnaround.
main roster call-up. Hell, it's likely we'll even see the current champ have another match with our next subject before his time on NXT is over, a man who serves as our next subject, the one, the only, Javon Evans. Now, if you look at the current landscape of wrestling, there are a lot of very promising wrestlers out there under the age of 25. Names like Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade, and Tiffany Stratton. That said, if you were to list the great wrestlers who are under 21, there's much fewer, and Javon Evans is right at the top of that list.
Yeah, he looks very young.
Why is Javon Evans at the top of the list? Well, because despite only having his prom a couple of years ago, he's already light years ahead of many people a decade older than him in the ring, something which was clearly apparent during the feud he had against Ethan Page earlier this year. Yes, if there was ever anyone Shawn Michaels could be thinking about pushing to the moon and making a world champion before he's legally old enough to drink, this would be the guy.
Damn, that is crazy. The dude only he's 19, 20 years old, already making those feats. That's impressive. And plus, not to mention, got time to develop into that great wrestler. You know what I mean? As opposed to starting at like say 25 and kind of having make do with that lost time. Not even 25, starting at say 25 or 30, and then have to play catch up or some shit. But him being 19, right age, he can just develop. Right age, enough time to develop and everything.
Of course, you might be asking the question, how does someone get to be so good at such a young age?
Yeah.
Well, the way they do that is by already having years of experience under their belt.
Oh.
Yes, like with the other young stars we've talked about a moment ago, the Greensboro native has been doing this since his early teens, with him having his first match back in 2018 when he was still just 14.
Wow.
So really, it should come as little surprise that he's gotten to the level he's gotten to already, because he's certainly had enough practice. All he needs now is a little bit more time to acclimatize himself to WWE, and he'll be ready to reach that next level.
Oh, yeah.
Will this level involve title success?
That explains it, though.
Certainly. It really is just a case of waiting to see if that title he wins will be the North American Championship or the World Championship. Or who knows, maybe he'll bypass that entirely and just go straight to winning gold on the main roster instead. At this point, the sky really is the limit for him, so why not?
Oh yeah, indeed.
But if and when he does do this, he won't have to worry about there being no other great acts in the Developmental brand to hold down the fort, as they'll still have one of their top stables, Chase U. Yes, over the past few years, Chase U have won the hearts of WWE fans and become an integral part of NXT in the process.
As well.
And the way they've done this is by mostly taking charge in the tag team division, and there putting on some of the best matches the brand has seen in a while, matches which have even led to their members becoming tag team champions on 2 separate occasions, once with Andre Chase and Ridge Holland, and another time with Andre Chase and Duke Hudson. That said, it's not just in tag team action where Chase U have shown. No, they've also done their fair share in holding things down with the singles division too. And that applies to both the men's and women's singles divisions, as well. Members such as Chase, Hudson, and Riley Osborne have all been at various points lacing up their boots for solo competition. The same could also be said for Thea Hale. In fact, despite still only being 21 years old, Hale has found so much success that at one point she came close to dethroning Roxanne Perez as NXT Women's Champion when she challenged her for that belt earlier this year.
Okay.
And even if she didn't win this one, the fact she was able to hang with the champ showed she has a bright future ahead of her.
Oh, yeah.
But then we're pretty sure all of the current members of Chase U have a bright future ahead
of them. Oh, it's a
them.
group. Okay.
The
I
only
thought it was one
question
person.
Is, will this future be as a unit who are eventually called up to the main roster together, or will it be with them all going their separate ways at some point?
That can happen.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see how things play out with regards to that, as we're sure there are plenty of twists and turns in the saga of this group of students yet to come. And they're not the only stable on current day NXT we'll be keeping an eye on, as there's also a lot of interesting stuff happening right now around the No Quarter Catch crew. Yes, NQC Sierra group of wrestling shooters whose only mission in life is to rough up their opponents and teach them the ways of true toughness in wrestling. And as it stands today, Charlie Dempsey is their leader, and by his side sits an impressive roster of backup, going by the names of Miles Bourne, Tavion Heights, and Ren Sinclair. So it should come as little surprise that with such people making up the group, the No Quarter Catch crew have been able to become a key part of the developmental brand over the last year or so, so much that Dempsey himself has been able to win the NXT Heritage Cup on 2 separate occasions. And with this being the prize that plays by the old rules of UK wrestling, the very place where Charlie Dempsey's father William Regal got his start, don't expect to see his son give up such an accolade easily. No, we really can't see anyone on the roster good enough to take it from him right now, which means he might even bring it up to the main roster with him once he and the rest of the NQCC inevitably get called up to either Raw or SmackDown.
Okay.
In the meantime, though, we're more than happy to watch the whole stable do their thing in NXT for a while longer. After all, the brand is going to need great wrestlers like them heading into its debut on the CW network. We could even see Dempsey going on to win the big one at some point and becoming the first member of his family to win a world title.
Well,
this
damn,
guy
squeeze
really
a dude's
is the limit
nose
for him, as at only 27 years old, he's still years away from hitting his prime, and if he can be half as good as his father was in the ring, then the future certainly looks bright for him. But what about our next subject?
Hey, it could be a case of like father, like son, becoming successful, or even surpassing his dad. So, especially, so if he keeps on winning those matches and those championships, he'll be straight.
So physically imposing and so filled with talent, it's impossible not to be drawn in by him whenever he's on screen. The man who goes by the name of Obafemi. But then, why wouldn't someone be drawn in by a man who looks like a giant, yet wrestles like a man half his size? Yes, well, he's certainly capable of pulling off some impressive power moves. That's not all the big man has in his arsenal, as he's also well adept at other aspects of his in-ring craft, too.
That's what's up.
Considering he's only been wrestling since 2021,
that's
all the more impressive. Really, if things continue the way they're going for him, we could be looking at an all-time great big man for WWE here. Just look at the body of work he's put out on NXT already in his short time there. A body of work which has seen him have great matches against the likes of Dijak, Josh Briggs, and Dragon Lee, all while also winning the North American Championship. And that's exactly why we expect him to rise to the top of the brand before long by becoming world champion. In fact, he could very well be the one to eventually dethrone Ethan Page. And if he does do this, it'll solidify his status as a true great of modern-day NXT, as well we all know the smaller, more athletic guys have historically thrived in that system. It's a little rarer to see a big man make such waves.
Yeah.
But then as we've said
that'd be
already,
something worth seeing.
Is no normal giant. Rather, he's one of WWE's superstars of tomorrow, and that makes him a perfect reason to tune into NXT right now, as if you do, you'll get to see him continue to progress up the ladder. But
definitely
let's
will.
move away from the men for a moment and back to the women again. As it's there, we find our next subject, someone who has also leveled up quite a lot in recent months.
She's
Jada
a beauty
Parker.
Too. Okay.
What has Jada Parker done to make herself stand out so much as of late? Well, how about the fact that after a couple of years of rising up the ranks of NXT and learning her craft diligently, she's now reached the level where she can challenge for her division's world title. That's right, it was at the recent No Mercy show in September of 2024 that she took on Roxanne Perez for the gold. Sure, she might have lost this match, but considering she was going up against the best in the division, the fact that she was able to stand toe-to-toe with her and hold her own is impressive.
Oh, yeah.
And it's yet another sign that Parker really is a future pillar of what NXT is doing with the women currently. More than that, it's a sign that world title success will no doubt be in her future, both in developmental and on the main roster. That said, when it comes to victories on Raw or SmackDown, those will have to wait for the time being, as for right now, Jada's focus is fully on NXT. Yes, for as much as she's progressed in such a short space of time, she is still a rookie, and so still stands to spend a bit more time in developmental before making it to the main roster. Not that she won't have tough competition where she is, though. No, the NXT women's division is filled to the brim currently, so there's going to be plenty of opportunities for the former soccer player to either sink or swim.
Oh, she just plays soccer?
Do we imagine she'll have any problem keeping her head above the waterline? Not at all. Because if she's good enough to keep up with Roxanne Perez now, just imagine where she'll be in another couple of years. Hell, by that point, she might even be the face of the division. But before she wins the world title, we could see her making a pit stop with a mid-card belt first, a mid-card belt like the NXT Women's North American Championship. Of course, if Jada Parker wants to win this one, she'll have to overcome our next subject, none other than Kalani Jordan. Yes.
With the YouTube music app,
damn commercials.
30 artists into one big custom radio station.
Haven't even seen that beauty, but it's all good. I can skip it.
Yes, only 2 years after she first got her start in
2
NXT,
years?
Jordan
God
is one
damn.
of the most talked about young female talents on the roster.
Okay.
But how did she get to be such
Very
a big
short
deal
time.
so quickly?
I like to
having
know
an
this well.
instant natural aptitude for wrestling. But then given the wide range of inspirations she has, it's perhaps no surprise she's been fast to learn her craft.
Okay.
After all, when you cite Bryan Danielson, Rob Van Dam, and Bianca Belair as 3 people who inspired you to be a wrestler, that's covering a wide range of styles.
Yeah, very wide range of different wrestling styles indeed. That probably explains why she blew up so quick, after only being in the NXT for 2 years.
She's no doubt going to be skilled as an all-rounder. And this is exactly what happened with Kalani Jordan, with her improving so much in matches against the likes of Ariana Grace, Kiana James, and JC Jane, that when it came time for Shawn Michaels to coronate someone as the inaugural NXT Women's North American Champion in June of 2024, she was the one chosen for such an honor. Of course, this meant that no matter what happens next then, Jordan will always have a spot in the WWE history books. But don't expect her to rest on her laurels with this, though, as in recent weeks she's been hard at work defending this gold. And we expect her to continue doing this for a while yet, right up until the point she eventually decides to go after the NXT Women's title, taking on whoever the champion is by then, possibly a new incoming talent like a Julia or a Stephanie Vacour. And after
like that little
it'll no
tattoo
doubt
right
be a
there.
run on the main roster where the Floridian can shine on an even grander stage, possibly by getting a match against one of her inspirations, Bianca Belair.
Ooh.
Or who knows?
That would be epic.
Maybe she'll end up teaming with Bianca for a while to go after the women's tag team titles. It wouldn't be the first time someone who was primarily a singles act found success in the tag team division, as back over in the men's division of NXT, the same thing has happened with our next 2 subjects, Nathan Frazier and Axiom. Yes, well, Nathan Frazier had made something of an impact on NXT UK between 2020 and 2022, with him there becoming
Overseas.
a one-time winner of the NXT Heritage Cup, and while Axiom had found a certain degree of success on the same brand as A-Kid, also as a one-time Heritage Cup holder, it wasn't until the Jersey native and the Spaniard joined NXT proper and began teaming up together that they really reached that next level. Why was this? Well, now acting as a duo, they were able to use the combined might of their talents to quickly rise up the ranks of the brand's tag team division, in the process giving it a fresh breath of life right at a point it needed it the most. After all, this was long after the era of DIY, The Revival, or American Alpha stealing the show on a weekly basis. No, this was an era where something new was
I do like the
needed,
mask.
and that
What's his
new
name's
thing
wearing?
just so happened to be 2 high-flying Europeans who worked so well together it didn't take them long to win the NXT tag titles from Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin in April of 2024. Of course, since then, Frazier and Axiom have lost their gold to Chase U and then managed to win it back again, making them 2-time tag team champions. And this second run has only helped to solidify them as one of the best things on current-day NXT. And just to think, all it took for them to reach this point was to be put together. It just goes to show that the missing piece to the puzzle can often be right there in front of your eyes the whole time. Will the pair continue their tag team success on the main roster one day? That remains to be seen. But whether they stick together on Raw or SmackDown or they don't, for now, they seem content to dominate things on Tuesday nights as a duo. And that's good for fans, as it means we've got plenty more banger matches featuring them to look forward to, and probably plenty more title reigns while we're at it.
Oh, indeed.
But then we've got a lot to look forward to yet from everyone we've discussed today, because between them, they all each represent a little bit about what is making current day NXT so great.
Hey, based on that description, shit.
Did you know that
watch this
Cyril
damn
Ellington
shit.
made Justice Bar warning the British are coming? She didn't do it for fun.
Alright, shut up. I don't want to hear all that. Well, I don't mind hearing it, but not right now, because I'm into history, so I'm just not right now. But anyway, that was best of NXT developmental greatness, and based on like the people that were all the wrestlers that have been highlighted and how Wrestle with Andy described all their accomplishments and how long they've been NXT and such, and their promise of being into the main roster as such and being listed be on the main roster as such. I was definitely impressed with how everyone was described as such. I named a couple people. Named a few people I'm tuning in, especially what's her name, Roxanne. I'm definitely tuning into her because man. But anyway, let me read the comment sections real quick. Trick Williams' entrance theme with Booker T ad-libs far by the best thing on NXT. I gotta check out his entrance because if that's how it is, if it's awesome like he described it, I'm definitely want to tune in and see for myself. But yeah, Fraxion, yeah, the guy with the different colored mask looks pretty cool. Reminds me of a Power Ranger in a sense, because that's something I used to see on those shows back in the day. Kind of gave me that vibe. I saw the dude with the mask in that little tag team, in their little duo. I was like, okay, I'm definitely gonna tune into their matches based on dude wearing a mask and based on how Wrestle with Andy described them as well. So definitely tune in for that. I want to see for myself how good they are in the ring. It's like Fraxion is a great success story cooked by NXT creatives, two gifted in-ring performers, Nathan Frazier and Axiom, who know each other very well. Though being single wrestlers, they needed a new direction. They actually needed to rise to tag team division level. Those two were the perfect guys to give us absolute bangers. Okay, that's what's up. See, a lot of people tuning in, showing love. See, I'm not going to spend too much time like reading the comments. It's fun, but I don't want to spend too much time. Like if someone go overboard with the commentary as such, I can easily do that on another time. But I definitely like it. It's another great mini documentary highlighting all the future greats and such, and got me excited. Want to check out their program every Tuesday. Let me know in the comment section which channel these matches come on, so then I know because I got Roku on my TV in this room right here. So let me know so I can find out which channel it is. So yeah, if you want me to watch more of these Wrestle with Andy mini documentaries or any other videos for songs, or say like countdowns, movie clips, movie trailers, streaming show like trailers and all that, or even like one of those analysis videos, post them in the comment sections below. Hit that like button, hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button as well. And be sure to follow my social media accounts that will be posted in the description box below. This your boy Blak G92 about to sign off. Holla at your boy.